Hey everybody, welcome back to Tinker and Toil. I'm Justin Johnston. I had a project that I had to get done. If you've seen any of my other videos, you might have seen that I have this small bench grinder that is always in my way. It sits on the bench over there. I move it around. I'm always having to shuffle the thing around. So I decided that I needed to come up with a solution that was a little bit better. I needed to be able to roll it around and have it on a stand that's dedicated to it that I can just move and have it be out of my way. So that's what this video is about. All right, so I'm gonna do a 45. I'm gonna get a 7 by 7-ish square. So the outsides of this, I want to be at 7 inches, and I want 45s. So I'm just going to measure over the, actually I'm going to go 7.5. Just make sure it's plenty big, because the inside of this is going to be like a table. So then we can take this, just make sure that's 7.5. Yep. Okay. And 7.5. We're just gonna go right from there. Now the soapstone's not marking too great on that. Get a marker. Pencil draws better. Yeah, there we go. So that's our mark, and then we want this same on this side. All right. So cut here, cut here, cut here. So, yeah, not the best. It would definitely help if I had a straight edge to sort of line everything up. Let's see. We could use this. I think that's what this is actually kind of for. So we can make nice straight cuts. I'll use this as a guide. Definitely better with a guide.
A few moments later.
All right, so here is what I just got all cut. And you can see, yeah, that plasma did pretty well with these corners, even on 45s. You know, I have a chop saw, might have done better, but I have a hard time cutting angle iron on a chop saw only because it wants to sit on an angle and never seems to, it always wants to bind up. So I like this better. Did a pretty good job. I just need to clean these up with a grinder, and I think I can get some nice square bits and bobs. And this should fit on it perfectly. This should be the right base size. And then I should be able to take this and mount it on, you know, like a post like this. And then put a base on it. And then I'll have that on a stand, which I think will be really nice. All right, well, let's see how that works out. All right, so I think what I want is for my stand to have wheels on the front and then like a rubber feet at the back so that I can tilt it and roll it around. And I have this old bed frame. That's what I made this out of. But I think I'm going to use the part that has the wheels and try to use those casters for like the front of the stand. And then I think I'll just extend this and, like, you know, have it be whatever length I want. And then on the back end, put like rubber feet somehow on that so that it tips forward, and then when you get it to where you want, you tip it back up and the rubber feet keep it still. All right, well, let's see. I guess the first thing I need to do is either drill or cut these out so I can separate that piece that swings, and then cut these to the length I want. And I don't know a good length. I guess I'm just gonna guess. Or, you know, I can probably keep it long until I have it kind of mounted, and then after I have it where I want it, cut it to the length I think would work. We'll see, maybe we can do that way. All right, let's find out. Okay, I now have two legs to make a base. I'm not sure the best way, so let's say I use this piece for the stand part. The intent of use this for the stand, and then this will get welded onto the top of this. I think I might weld it so that it kind of overhangs the front. And then this would be the base. Need to be able to separate it a little bit. I'm not sure what the best stock is for having these kind of farther apart. Need something to weld the center of this to, so something looks like a piece of angle connecting these two. Width of the legs should be maybe slightly wider than the actual size of this. So I'm going to measure this. And I want a piece of angle. Looks like it's about 14 inches. So if I have them 16 inches apart, that should be pretty good, but maybe 18 will definitely be good. I'll go well past this so that it's pretty stable up top. Okay, so now I'm going to be trying the new Milwaukee here. I'm going to take this little goober off here. Oh, look at that. All right. Perfect. Smooth edge to work with. This goes on here. This can go on like that. And we'll weld it all together. I want it from the wheels, but I'm going to measure because that there. I'm going to just do, maybe I'll do 9. Should be able to weld it just like this. Okay. All right, we're going to tack this now. Be good. Okay, I think that's probably pretty close. I'm not going to be able to show you this well because I got to kind of keep it all set up here. This is running a little bit hot. I had it set up for aluminum before. It's running pure argon instead of well, that's about as close to square as I think I can get it without sort of tacking it and confirming everything. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. That tacking is not working. I set it on auto. Got a little more burn there time. I think we can pull off here now. Just that one tack and see how close we have it to square. Right with the square. Don't quite. Oh, that fits. That side. All right. Right there is supposed to be square. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another tack on the other side. Another tack down here. All right. Now, one thing I have to figure out, we'll have to have some feet on the back side to get it level. And I'm not yet sure the best way to do that. All right, so I think 9 inches this way should be good as far as a wide enough base for this to be stable. I think that makes it like 18-ish inches. So I think I might cut like 9 or 10 inches from center, maybe 20 inches from that end, cut it, and then using what's left over, I'll turn that, weld it so that it's a leg. Because right now, you know, this is sitting on an angle. So if I do that, it should get it straight up and down. Okay, so now I need another piece to span this right across here. So we are going to go ahead and measure 18 inches with this piece. scrutinize this too much. I'm just going to tack it, get it going. That definitely is going to take out the wobble. And now it's just getting the legs. Okay, so I need to figure out the height of these legs from the bottom to, I guess, to the bottom of this, so I can figure out how long to cut the legs for the back. I also need to make sure I pull out and find my little rubber legs. I have these rubber legs, these right here. So I just end up bolting them on to the bottom when I get done. And they seem to be exactly 1 inch in terms of height. So we just subtract an inch from whatever the height of this is, but it's hard to really get an accurate measurement on this. Let's try this way. Only because, trying to look at these wheels, that might work. There we go. Looks like it's 7 1/2. Maybe 7 3/8. Let me call it 7 3/8. It's maybe a smidge over 7 3/8, but that's what I'm going to use for my height on my legs. So, but I'm going to do 6 3/8 to account for this, and maybe I'll subtract an 1/8 as well to account for the width of metal. I'm going to have to put something to bolt this onto a leg, so I'll have to put a flat piece on the bottom of that and drill a hole through it to be able to mount this, sort of like that. So this will be the back leg, and I need a flat piece there. So, I mean, I could weld it on the inside, but typically I would just put it so that it goes on top and then kind of weld it around the outside. So I'm going to subtract an 1/8, so 6 1/4 should be almost exactly what I need. Little scraps of triangle from the previous cuts, and I think that will work actually quite well. So I can go like that, drill a hole, and I'll have something to connect these two. Although I guess maybe I want it to be bigger. Yeah, I mean that would kind of work, but although it would mount, it probably wouldn't give much support to this. So maybe I need not just triangles, but circles or squares, roughly the size of this. So this is plenty big. I might just use this and just cut some squares, cut 2 sides off of it. I might clean it up before I do that, just because it's going to be easier to clamp it and clean it in the current state.
First, I'm just
kind of straighten it up because it's cut on an angle. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tack these up. We go ahead and, I don't know if I want to center it. Maybe I can center it. I don't know if I get it perfectly centered. As I have it even on both sides, I think we'll be okay. And I'm going to go for like a 1/4 inch offset. doesn't matter more that we get the hole in the right spot. All right. All right. Still have a little bit of an angle, but it should be mostly level. Oh yeah. So much more level now. I think it'll get a little bit sturdier once I get more than just tacks. It's a little flex in it, but I feel like that'll probably go away when I finish up all the welds. These are not perfect down here, but they will do the job just fine. Once I get that all welded up, I'll just drill holes and bolt those things on. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead, and weld this up. Okay, so my welds are not the best on here, but I think they'll hold okay. Still haven't figured out welding steel with 100% argon. It's just a little bit too hot, I think, for me. But the stand itself, I think, is going to hold up pretty well. Now I just need to clean it up, and I think maybe, I didn't clean that metal, and I didn't even clean the ends from my plasma cuts. I think I need to definitely hit these with the grinding wheel and really prep them for welding. So I'm going to do that for this because you're going to see that. I'm just going to bevel these, kind of clean up all the edges. Okay, that's how I prep it. I got it ground down, and there's a bevel all along that edge. And then just hit it with the wire brush to get any rust off. And should be able to just get these roughly lined up. I do have an actual clamp, but I feel like this will work just fine to get some 90s, and hopefully it all lines up. I'm just going to tack it first, and then once it's tacked all together, then we will maybe make a couple minor adjustments. Out of wire. All right, new wire. Let's see if we can get this to tack now. There's a bit of an extra wide gap there that I had to fill, but got it to tack. All right. I'm not sure we have it perfectly square. It's pretty close. I think that's, pretty flush, pretty square. If we really want to check if it's square, we would measure corner to corner and see if they're the same. Let's see. Yeah, a little smidge over 10.5. Yeah, they're both a smidge over 10.5. That should be square. So now we can go ahead and just weld that. I don't need to, it's only going to be holding that grinder. I don't know if I need to really run the welds like all the way, but we just need a couple good welds across the bottom.
weld on the back side.
On this. Okay. Definitely not perfect, but should do the job that I needed to do. Yep. A toolbox. I have this toolbox over here. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is plan to store it under this shelf. This toolbox is short enough to go under that shelf. So I'll just move that firewood out of the way. And that bin, that's empty. This can go over there. And bench grinder can live there. Looks like we're at 43, 42. There's like some sag in that board. I'll call it 41 and a half or 41 for the top of this, which is almost exactly, I want to say, the bench height. Maybe it's like 43. So maybe I want it like inch lower than the bench height, and that should work. And that should fit under there. And let's try that. And then just measure from the floor to the top of this. Currently that's 36. 36 and a quarter. The bench is we'll want to cut it about 30 inches off the ground. I'll measure and we'll measure 30 inches up. That's where we'll cut it. I could try to weld it directly onto here like this. And maybe that would be satisfactory, but I'm not fully convinced that would be enough sort of to keep it sturdy. If I cut it, I can weld kind of onto within, and it'll be a couple inches back. I think that's going to be the better plan. So I want to cut it And then I will weld it about like I'm showing here, where I'll weld it on the top. Okay. We'll put it on the fast setting. Maybe that will work. There we go. These ought to work. Hopefully this one will work.